This is not going very well. I'm gonna be honest with you. I definitely am not doing this Italian bind off right at all. Hi you guys, welcome here. If you're new here, my name's Bethany. I'm the girl behind Well Up Knits, and I'm gonna be honest with you. For the past 10 minutes, actually probably more like 15 minutes, I've had the camera running and I've said absolutely nothing at all. It's incredible because my parents are in town and they very kindly have taken Arthur for an hour plus, just, taking him around on the neighborhood so I can have some free time to record, to sit down and talk to you guys. And yet, I'm the most distracted that I've been trying to film in recent memory. I don't know if it's gotta be related to that. I'm not worried about him. It's just more like maybe there's the endless possibilities of my free time right now, and I just can't rein my thoughts in to be able to... I just can't get it out. Anyway, this is important. So hopefully after I have just admitted that, I am gonna have less chaotic energy and, a little bit more cohesive thoughts that I can share. We're still not in a good place, but you know what? The show must go on. A very special Knit and Chat episode because Well of Knits has reached 100,000 subscribers. This channel has 100,000 subscribers. That is just wild. I don't think I ever imagined it would actually get to this point. I was like, oh yeah, maybe, but I didn't actually know that it was going to happen. So recently we have reached 100,000, and that has just been such a cool milestone and an unexpected one. So I wanted to say a huge thank you at the very beginning of this video. 2 years ago, I started to release videos that were supplementary to the beginner-friendly patterns that I have. This channel has since evolved into something more like being a friend to knit with, and that seems to be most appreciated by the majority of you, and I certainly really love creating these kinds of videos because that's something that I'm missing in my personal life. In my immediate area, I don't have a friend to knit with, really. None of my friends here share my knitting hobby, so it's definitely been a good outlet that way. So I'm really appreciative to all of you because sharing comments and, sharing your ideas and opinions on slow fashion, sustainable knitting, slow knitting, and just fiber arts in general, and other DIY crafts like sewing. It's been a lot of fun to connect with you guys, and I hope you've brought me a lot of value, so I hope that these videos in turn have brought something for you, has brought value for you, and maybe you've learned something, or I don't know. I just hope that it's enhanced your craft. So I think all of this to say, we are long overdue for a giveaway on this channel. I don't necessarily think that a giveaway is going to do it justice, but I do want to give back in some way. So there will be 3 prizes, 3 chances to win. So let me tell you a little bit about those. First, I'm going to be giving away a set of my favorite interchangeable needles. These are the ones that I grab for all the time. These are the Driftwood Lykke needle set. There's a wide range of sizes here, and I think it's a really nice thing. An interchangeable needle set is definitely something that you need if you are really getting into this hobby, and these are just the ones that I've gotten most accustomed to. I use them all the time, so I thought that would be the most fitting to give away. So one knitter will be able to get this. Another knitter has a chance to win a sweater's quantity of Knitting for Olive Merino. Last year, that was probably the fiber that I knit with the most because of the Baby Knits Marathon. I, for some reason, bought so much Knitting for Olive Merino non-superwash, and it actually worked out really well. I enjoyed working with that fiber so much, and I think they have really great quality. They have beautiful colors, a wide array, so I think there's something for everybody there. So to enter to win either the needle set or the sweater's quantity of wool, you need to be subscribed to this channel and leave a comment down below, maybe telling me about how this hobby has impacted you, or DIY in general, the thing that you love most about it, because I think I would like to hear about that. That would be fun to read through. But of course, I did say that there would be 3 prizes and 3 chances to win. Another one is this beautiful project bag that was kindly gifted by Mood Living. This is the Saturn XL project bag, and they gifted one for me and one to give away. And I've only had this bag in my life for mere days, but I can tell you that it's going to be a huge life changer because it fits an entire sweaters project. What I'm working on is in this project. And there's just, the quality is so nice. It's made very nicely. It smells really good. This right here is going to be an Instagram only giveaway because Mood Living was so kind to donate this for the giveaway. I want them to be a part of it as well. So if you go over on Instagram, there's a post right now on my profile about how you can enter to win this. You will need to be you need to follow me on Instagram and also follow Mood Living on Instagram and follow all the other qualifications that I have in the post. Just read the post. You'll see what you need to do to be able to win, and I will announce the winner over on Instagram for this, and the winners for the interchangeable needles and the sweaters quantity will be announced in a separate video. Like I said, that's just a really small thing that I can do to say thank you. I don't know if I can say it enough. It's, again, very mind-blowing. I'm very humbled that I have you all here, that you care to come back, you care to knit with me. That really means a lot. And it's definitely brought a lot of, it's enriched my life. It's brought a lot of purpose in my life, and I really appreciate that. And yeah, this is just a small thing that I can do to say thank you. So good luck. Thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for engaging with me. That definitely makes it more of a joy to continue to do this. Knowing that there are people out there that share this hobby and, want to knit with me, that means a lot. So let's knit together then. Right, like I said, I have my project here in this bag. This is like a bucket. It's amazing. Look at this thing. So I have my sweater in here. I'm not going to be knitting, actually. I'm going to be doing Italian bind off if I can manage. But yeah, so I have my entire sweater. I finished the body of my no frills sweater, so I need to do the bind off. But look, I've got my sweater out, and here's everything that's left. So that I have all the yarn that I have left. Hopefully that will get me through the sleeves. And yeah, I have a tape measure. I haven't really stuffed this thing to full capacity, if I'm gonna be honest. I really need to test it out, like give it a true test, but for now, that will do. So I'm going to put this down here. So I asked you guys over on Instagram, what the heck should we talk about? Because I was just at a loss, to be honest. And the majority were questions about motherhood and knitting with motherhood and, baby-related things. So we're going to do a little bit of a life update. We're not in my traditional setup because I wanted to get more use out of this bulletin board because it might be going away soon. This is, I shared in the last video, if you caught up with my free patterns lineup. This is actually Arthur's room now. It used to be an office for our computer and for my knitting, and we've taken all of that out. But this is still here. This still remains. So, it's still a nice backdrop, I think, and I'm going to use it until I unscrew it, and then I'd have to fill in the holes. Don't want to do that, but it needs to be done. So eventually, any trace of yarn will be out of this room. End of an era. So yeah, we've moved him into his own room, which is just wild. It actually went pretty well, I have to say. I was a little nervous because, he's been next to our bed since he got home. And we've all just gotten used to him being in our room. So at first I was really nervous that he was going to have some sort of separation anxiety. At night, he was just going to be waking up more often. But then again, we're kind of at the 4-month regression. We're still going through it. Not saying that all babies sleep through the night, but Arthur was an angel. For a couple weeks or almost a month of his life, maybe at 3 months, he slept through the night. And it was so nice. But we don't have that anymore. So now we're dealing with regular wake ups. So that's, just been, it's our normal. And so luckily, I think doing it during this time, we haven't really noticed a huge difference just because he's been waking up anyway. So I don't know if it's really because he's in his own room or if it's because of the regression. He's gotten used to his crib though. I think he really loves the space. He definitely has a lot more room than when he was in the bassinet. So I think he appreciates it for sure. And we appreciate having our room to ourselves again. It is nice not having to tiptoe when you're about to go to bed, because obviously he went to bed a lot earlier than us. So we'd have to come into the room and be really quiet. But now we can sit in bed with the lights on and not really worry about waking up, obviously, Arthur. So that's been really nice. But that's a huge change. And it's just another sign that he's growing up, which is just crazy. But yeah. Anyway, let me address some of these questions. How am I enjoying motherhood? Am I enjoying motherhood? How has my life changed? And my life has changed completely. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like definitely for the better. I don't know, maybe it's just my perception, but I just feel like the connotation around motherhood today is kind of negative. We're all just so cautioned to enjoy being young as long as we can. Don't, just push off this responsibility and, just don't waste your youth. Don't settle down too quickly. Your life will never be the same again, that kind of thing. And it's true. I mean, it's a huge life change, but I don't think it's so negative, I feel like it almost scares people the way parenthood is talked about. I feel like I felt pressure, even though I knew for all my life, I knew I wanted to have multiple kids. I wanted to be a young mom. I knew that. And yet I feel like I still had that pressure not to do it, which is really funny because I know I want to have multiple kids. I know I wanted to get married. That was something that I really wanted. And yeah, just the pressure not to do it. I probably, 1, would have gotten married sooner, and 2, had kids sooner. Maybe not so drastically soon, but sooner nonetheless, if I didn't feel all that pressure. Does that make sense? Society is telling you don't grow up too fast. And you feel influenced by that even if you want to. And then just lately, I think there's also a big stigmatism against pregnancy, that your body's not your own. I don't know, just a lot of negative views, kind of scaring people away from it. And I have to tell you, I was very lucky. I had a really great pregnancy. I didn't have any complications. And I don't think that that's, I don't think that's rare, but I know that's not for everybody as well. But I'm also 100% the believer that your mind is a really powerful tool, and whatever you kind of imagine can become reality. So if you tell yourself that you're going to have a terrible time and that pregnancy is the scary thing, I think you might have more problems than otherwise, if you have a positive mindset, maybe you won't perceive so many negative things. I don't know if that's necessarily what happened for me, but I do believe that just in general. And I think also having that mentality for motherhood has made it such a joy too. I mean, if you think about it, my job now is to introduce this little person to the world. And I don't take that lightly, but it's such a fun job too. You're not losing anything, you're gaining something. That's kind of how I view it. And so, I've been having a really great time as a mom. But The one thing that has really surprised me about motherhood, that was the question, has been how naturally it has come. Because I was talking about this with my mom yesterday. I have a big family on my dad's side. There's a lot of cousins. I have so many, dozens and dozens. So when I was younger, there were a lot of babies around. We would go on a family reunion every year, and there would be babies everywhere. And I was really exposed to babies. I was taking care of them, playing with them, not taking care of them. I was still too young myself, but, they obviously have all grown up, and it had been a really long time since I had been exposed to a baby, because I'm the first one of my friends to have a baby. I just didn't have any experience with babies. So I was a little concerned when I was pregnant. Am I going to know what to do? And it all came very naturally to me. Of course I did do some research here and there, but, you just have like this instinct, and that was really shocking to me. It was a relief. But yeah, I was just really pleasantly surprised at how naturally I took on the role. This is a knitting channel first and foremost, 100%, but I do also want to be a positive mom example. So that like a young mom example, life doesn't end. I'm still able to do the things that I love, albeit knitting looks a lot different these days. To be honest, I don't knit as much as I used to. Like I said, it was my main thing before Arthur, and now being Arthur's mom is my main thing. But I wouldn't change it, because it's made this hobby a little bit more special. And, spending time with him means so much more. And that's how I've changed, I think. Being a mom definitely changes your perspective. And I'm just letting a lot of things go more easily than I did before, which is surprising. I think I would have imagined that I'd be a little bit more tightly wound, but I'm letting go of expectations of myself, and I'm just allowing myself to focus on my son and, his life. And that matters the most. I think the best thing about being a mom has been slowing down and really cherishing the now, because before that, I was always looking ahead. And I think that's really great. It's great to look ahead. It's great to have goals and have things to look forward to. But you can't spend your whole life looking forward to the future. You have to really just be in the present moment and be happy with what you're doing and find joy in that, because otherwise you're always wishing for tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and you're wishing for the past, I guess I learned that too, because ever since Arthur was born, I've just been thinking about my childhood. And, when you're a kid, you're always trying to grow up. And I don't know, it's because I'm doing things with Arthur that maybe I remember that my parents did with me, and I want to give him some nice nostalgic things to remember as well, like songs and things, singing songs to him. It's just made me think more about when I was growing up and things that I liked my parents doing for me. What made me feel good and safe, I want to give that to him. And it's just made me more nostalgic for my childhood, I guess, if that makes sense, and how I want to raise him. This is not going very well. I'm going to be honest with you. I definitely am not doing this Italian bind off right at all. So how do you manage motherhood and knitting? I have a 7-month-old and I'm struggling. Well, I don't really. Knitting looks a lot different for me now. As you can see, this is a testament to that. This has been on the needles for a really long time, and I'm just choosing to enjoy that as best as I can, taking things really slow. That's been something that I've learned to do, and I've wanted to do as a mom. I think being a parent now, I want to live in the now. And before, I wanted to fast forward to whatever it was I was looking forward to in the future. And I think that's something that I can really attribute to parenthood, is to be living in the moment and not wishing my life away. and instead wishing my life would just slow down. The days just seem so fast. He's growing so fast, and I want to experience all of that. But at the same time, that's really translating into the things that I'm doing, my hobby, knitting. It's translated to hobby. It's translated to knitting because I'm not wishing the project away. I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying what's happening on my needles right now, instead of wishing for all those things in my closet, because that was how I operated before. Oh, I want this in my closet. I need to knit it right now. And I think there's a lot to that. I think that's great as well. That's what Well Love Knits was kind of all about. It was making the things that I love to wear, but hand making them, and being proud of them. And hopefully, because I put all that effort into it, I would appreciate my clothes a lot more and get a lot more use out of them, instead of fast fashion where you wear it once and then you're like, whatever, because you don't appreciate the amount of time and effort that goes into creating a piece of clothing. So that is a great way to operate as well, but I think I've kind of unlocked the other piece to that, where I am really taking my time, really, truly. So I know every stitch. I know every little small effort that was made, every small attempt that was made to get it off the needles and into my closet. So this one in particular, I hope I'll appreciate even more just because of how long it's taken me, because I've fit it in between naps. I've fit it even when he's awake with me. Arthur has helped me stitch this piece. The moments with my works in progress are just so much more fleeting, and I cherish them a lot more just because I don't get as much time with them. So I don't take them for granted, because even in the past, I definitely could and did take a lot of my projects for granted. They were merely just things I wanted to get on the needles, sometimes just to have content to share with you guys, which I'm not happy that that was the case. And it shows, because I have a lot of unfinished things as well, that obviously I'm not that into working on, so maybe I shouldn't have cast them on at all. First time mom here, 5 months nervous about motherhood, words of encouragement or advice. Like I said before, motherhood does not mean your life is over, and your body is capable of doing so much. Now, I was not very lucky to have a short labor. I think maybe when I was pregnant, the one thing that I was most nervous about, I wasn't even thinking about the baby being here. I was thinking about, what is labor going to be like? Because in the movies, just in general, there's just, you're scared about the unknown. You've never been through labor before as a first-time mom. As a first-time mom, I had never been in labor before, and I was just imagining as this like really excruciatingly hard thing. And it is. It's difficult. But it's nothing that you can't handle. Your body was built to give birth, and you can get yourself through it. Your body can get yourself through it. And that was another thing where it was a mind game. I personally went through an unmedicated birth, but I was not lucky to have a short one. Mine was 12 hours long. So it was exhausting. It was difficult. It was a mind over matter thing. Yes, it was painful, but if I, focused my brain, I was able to get through those contractions, because you can get through anything. You can get through, what is the saying? It's, you can get through anything in 60 seconds. As long as it's, the time frame, which 60 seconds is a contraction, that it's going to end, you can get through it. And that was very true. I'm here now, and I would do it again in a heartbeat, because it was the most empowering thing that I have ever been through. And even if you go through a medicated birth, doesn't matter. All births are empowering, and all births are special. And you don't have to do it one way. You do it your own way, and it's going to be a great thing. I would just recommend that you look at positive birthing stories if you haven't already. Also know that mother intuition is a powerful thing, and you will have it and you'll be okay. You know? You'll be okay. Ask for help when you need it. Accept help when it's given to you, and you'll be okay. What has changed since you had a baby, and do you have a daily routine? Well, okay. The first part, I think I've gone on enough about how things have changed. I will just say though, another thing has kind of unlocked. I use my brain a lot differently. I said that about, being a stay-at-home mom, but also as a mom in general, I just feel like my brain doesn't work the way that it did before. Now, being a mom, I'm talking to Arthur all the time because I want him to be exposed to language, and I want him to, just be exposed to that. I don't know. Moms talk to their babies to introduce them to talking, the concept of speaking. So I feel like as a mom, I'm kind of now able to talk to a wall. I can say absolutely nothing at all. It's a new rare talent that I can say so much and absolutely say nothing of value. No value. That's not really what I mean, but it doesn't actually mean anything. I can say so much nonsense, and at the end of the day, my voice is just shot. But that's a new power. And then on top of that, I've gained some muscles. People have been picking up Arthur and saying, wow, he's so heavy. And I'm just like, really? He feels really light to me. But that's just because I pick him up all the time. So it's nice to have a little bit of a workout too. I'm heaving him around. I think he's a little over 15 pounds now, which in kilos, I don't know. It's over 7 kilos. I think he's 8 kilos now. So he's a pretty substantial young man. Do I have a routine? Yes and no. We had a routine for a while, but with the sleep regression and things, and now he's kind of struggling with naps. He used to be a pretty good napper. Now he's kind of forgotten how to nap. So he's taking short naps, which is why it's so great that he's with grandma and grandpa. But he's taking short naps. So that's kind of messed up our schedule a little bit. But we do a lot of tummy time. We work on his head muscles. We practice sitting up. We practice rolling over. He hasn't really gotten the hang of either of those things, but he's smiling and laughing. And oh my gosh, the one thing that he absolutely loves, he's a typical little boy and loves fart noises. So he loves blowing raspberries, or when somebody blows raspberries at him and makes those kind of noises, that immediately gets a smile on his face. And that's another thing. Being a mom has taught me, or having a baby has taught me, not to take myself so seriously. I think I had a sense of humor, but I think now I can play again. You kind of lose that when you're an adult. You kind of forget how to play, how to be silly, how to, use your imagination. And I feel like I'm kind of getting that. I'm working that muscle again. I'm using my imagination muscle again, which is, it's nice. It's refreshing. Kids can make you feel young too. I don't know. What I was saying earlier about, you're going to waste your youth away getting this responsibility. But then at the same time, kids really enrich you, and they bring something else to your life. I hope it's not that I'm telling you to go start a family, but I hope that what I'm saying makes it a little demystified, makes it a little bit more inspiring and exciting than doom and gloom. That's really what I want. I don't want to influence you to do one thing or the other, but I do, maybe if you don't have the perspective that, maybe if parenting seems like a really scary thing, or being a mom seems like a very scary, lonely thing, I just hope that hearing me can just let you know that that's not always the case. And there are a lot of positive stories out there about motherhood and parenthood as well. All the other questions that you submitted, I just thought that they were a little out of place, so I'm definitely going to keep those in my back pocket for another knit and chat in the future. This was really nice. Thank you so much for asking about how I am and being curious about motherhood and knitting with a baby. It's all of this to say, your hobby is not over. If you become a mom, you can do things that you love. It might not be knitting. It might be something else. You might prioritize another hobby that you have, but you are able to do it. You're definitely able to work things in. you're able to work on more, on less sleep, you get more powers as a mom, as a parent, as a father. So yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. I didn't get very far. I didn't really expect to get very far, but I'm becoming acutely aware that I think Arthur is gonna walk through the door any minute now, so I wanna be ready for that when he does. Thank you guys so much for being here, for sitting down and knitting and chatting with me. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. Definitely participate in the giveaway by leaving a comment down below about what you love about this hobby, what inspires you about this hobby, how it has impacted your life. I just would love to read. Just comment something. I would love to read it. Yeah. And for all those other questions that I really didn't get to, I will definitely use them in knit and chats to come. So thank you very much for engaging with me on Instagram too and sharing those ideas, because that is very much appreciated as well, because you can see that my brain is working in a completely different capacity. I think that's everything that I want to say. I enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye!